Ms. Legalista here, aka Attorney Sheila. We are going to be talking about this FDA ban on formaldehyde containing products. Cosmetics is mostly what we're talking about. One of the questions I have to ask is why so long? Why did it take so long? We're going to be talking about a news article, an infographic that the FDA has put out. We'll take a look at that. There's also a PDF version that you can share with family and friends. Then we're going to talk about the attorneys who are now out there saying, hey, we can represent you.
Yeah.
Let's first jump over to this article here. It's from the New York Times, just came out a few days ago. FDA plans to ban hair straighteners with formaldehyde. The products often marketed to Black women have been linked to an increased risk of uterine cancer. One of the things about this, let me get my better presentation because this is the presentation that I like. One of the things about this is, I've looked at some of the lawsuits that are even out there relating to this, and the timeline doesn't really jive for people like me. The timeline is too short, but I'll cover that another in a whole nother video. All right, let's go over a couple of things. There are two paragraphs here that I really want to point out. The first one and the bottom one, you'll see the red arrows there. The first one says the Food and Drug Administration has proposed banning hair straightening products that contain or emit formaldehyde more than a decade after the cosmetic industry's own experts declared the products unsafe. Now, to some extent, this sort of reminds me of the tobacco industry and its testing and its knowledge around nicotine. And yet, there was the information out there, its own experts knew some things, and yet these products remained on the market. And, part of it is what kind of information are you providing to the public about products when you put them out there? So that's the first one. More than a decade after the cosmetic industry's own experts declared the products unsafe, you do have to wonder about some of these things when you go into stores now and you buy them. It does not mean that they are safe. Other studies have linked hair straighteners and dyes to breast and ovarian cancer. The agency's scientists deemed formaldehyde to be a human carcinogen 7 years ago, and its lawyers started drafting a proposed ban. Okay, that was 7 years ago. It's now 2023. Are you catching that? Are you doing the math there? Because that was really why I was pointing that out. So let me head to the next slide. It says FDA lawyers started drafting the rules for a proposed ban in 2016, but the process halted abruptly a few months later and no explanation was given. Just we're just not even going to go down this road anymore. That is what happened according to this article. And then the last piece, this is the last piece that I think is also relevant from this article. It says the FDA has known for decades now. The FDA has known for decades now that these products are dangerous. There's no reason for them not to have acted sooner. Well, let me just get rid of that because I want to bring up this infographic, this sort of guide sheet that what do I want to call them? I guess I want to call it, um, I don't know, that the FDA, some sort of infographic. You guys are familiar with that. Let me pull that up. We've got this infographic. What consumers should know about hair smoothing products and formaldehyde. Let me backtrack for a second. Why is formaldehyde being used in cosmetics? It's usually being used as a preservative to keep things fresh so that bacteria and things don't grow in there that you don't want. You don't want stuff on your face and in your hair and that sort of thing. But think about it, it's what embalmers use to preserve bodies. So that should help you remember. But let's get back to this infographic here, sort of explaining a few things, what consumers should know. It says some hair smoothing or straightening products contain or release formaldehyde. Because here's the thing, some of these products have a different chemical in them, but when that chemical hits the air, then you have formaldehyde gas. And it says released into the air can cause serious irritation of your eyes, nose, and lungs. You've got some other lists of things there. And it says read the label if you're thinking about using hair smoothing products. I personally have not used a hair smoothing product since 2014. So 9 years, and I have no plans to go back. It says here to find out if a hair smoothing product includes formaldehyde related ingredients, look for formaldehyde, formalin, or methylene glycol. Ask your salon professional. Here's the thing, sometimes they may not know exactly what is in the ingredients, also. Products for use by licensed salon professionals are required to include directions for safe use and warning statements. You could ask if your salon profession has a safety data sheet. Okay, just ask if they have that. How many of us actually think about that when we go in to get our hair done? Most don't, most do not. Report bad reactions. Not just, a lot of times you just call the salon back up, or you put some sort of review out there, or you just decide you're not going back. And sometimes stylists, maybe rightfully so or not, sometimes stylists are blamed for bad reactions when it really truly may be the chemicals that are in the products. It says you can also report your symptoms to the FDA in either of these ways. So you've got some contact information there. The FDA has had some focus groups, and then you've got OSHA's rule. So what may happen is come next year, 2024, I think is the actual year that they're looking at voting on this. They're looking at voting on this, and I think the ban would go in place in 2024. At least that's some of what I heard. Now, let's head over to one of these attorney sites. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here as I look at my notes. But let's go over to one of the one of the law firm's websites, because they're out here doing their thing too. So here we have one that even has pictures up here of some of the products. Now, I actually did another video on this a while back. I don't think people looked at it a whole lot. I should bring back up the views to see. I think part of the reason is, first of all, there's just a lot out there to look at. Okay, there's just a lot out there, and people consume content in a variety of ways. But I have done one video on this already, and in that video too, I sort of pointed out. I think it had to do with actually one of the lawsuits. They had included pictures of some of the brands so that people could actually look at them and say, hey, did I use that brand or did I not? And so even now, as I look at this picture from this law firm's site here, let me scroll down. FDA to propose ban on hair relaxer products linked to cancers in women. And see, we're beyond. Remember that FDA sheet talked about skin and eye irritation. We are now talking about cancer because formaldehyde, there's this link to it being a carcinogen. All right, so now we have some of that out of the way. Here are some of the products that are showing up here on this page. I have used Motions Relaxer in the past and Dark and Lovely. I've used two of those out of the 5 that they're showing up here. And actually, when I was a little girl, my mom used something else, but I forgot what it was called. It was more of a texturizer, something softer for kids. But you can see here some of the brands that they are showing up there. And then they've got some information here. As reported by CNN, the FDA intends to propose a ban on hair straightening products like relaxers that have been linked to health risks, including uterine and ovarian cancer in longtime users. And that's the thing. I said I stopped 9 years ago, but I got some age on me. So you can imagine that I started using relaxers in my 20s, like right about the time I went to college. So actually a little bit before that, because I was 17. So from 17 until, we're talking a long time. And there was a time in there where I did stop for a while, for about a year, but then I went back because I didn't really know what to do with my hair. I'm loving the locks now, though. But yeah, so you can see some of the information down here. And here's another piece that I really want to point out in this. And this is why I picked this particular firm to share this with you, because of this statement that it has in here. It says, research suggests that about 50% of the products advertised to Black women contain these types of chemicals, compared with about 7% that are advertised to white women. And so, for some reason, formaldehyde and I guess chemicals like that were more likely to be found in these relaxers. And given the number of Black women who used to use relaxers, I can imagine that you're looking at a long list of prospective clients if you are a law firm who is proceeding with this. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that. Like I said, the proposed ban is, I think, April of next year, and it's now October of 2023. So I think, if I recall correctly, it's April of 2024. I don't use relaxers anymore. My daughter, when she was really young, she wanted a relaxer. She's biracial. And I said no. I mean, she just, first of all, she was just too young. And second of all, I just didn't think she really needed it. Um, yeah, I just don't, yeah, I don't even know what to say. It is a personal choice. It is a personal choice, but at least people should be informed about what these products contain when they get ready to buy them and use them. They need to know whether or not they contain carcinogens. All right, that's it. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if this updated you in regards to what is going on with the FDA ban. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, and peace.